Hi everyone, welcome to episode 39 of Mother Industrialist live show where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. I'm Kenneth Chu, the host and the author of Mother Industrialist, Perfecting the Balance Between Motherhood and Business Success. So this is my book, Mother Industrialist. So in my book itself, I've shared 15 mompreneur stories that I personally interviewed them and they agreed to be featured in my book. And in these 50 mompreneurs, there are mompreneurs that I personally know in the past 10 years that I worked with when I was in Motherhood magazine. So, and also at the same time, I also share the 3 P's, how they can kickstart the business, and also share with the readers how they can kickstart the business, which is basically the 3 P's, which is passion, purpose, and profit. So without further ado, let us move into the show. And today I'm really blessed to have this awesome, inspiring mompreneur that I'm going to invite. I'm so glad that I managed to see her and meet her after so many years. And she's an entrepreneur. She's a mommy octopus. She called herself mommy octopus, and we shall find out why she called herself a mommy octopus. And also, she's a mother of 3 beautiful children. She's a founder of Baby Slings and Carriers.com, BabyGatesAndSafety.com. So without further ado, let us welcome Pearline. Hi, Pearline. Hi, hello.
Hello, Kenneth.
Thanks for
Hello,
coming.
everyone. Hello.
I hope you had a great day.
Thank you for inviting me to your show. I'm
No
very honored.
problem. No problem. My pleasure too. So there's a tradition. Before we officially kickstart with the show,
Mhm.
every guest get to answer the question of the day posted by the previous guest. So are you ready with the question of the day posted by the previous guest before we officially kickstart with the show?
Of course, bring it on.
Okay. So the question of the day posted by the previous guest is,
Mhm.
how do you find your passion? Okay, I
Mhm.
repeat again. The question of the day posted by the previous guest is, how do you find your passion? So give some time to think about it while I go onto Facebook Live to check if we are live successfully and if our audio is good to go, and I'll come back to you. Okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay. And let me just get it. Okay, we are live. You can hear my voice. Okay. So I see someone coming on live. Okay. You're looking good. Just waiting for your part to come out. Okay, I can hear you loud and clear. And I see somebody coming on live. So for those who are coming on live, thanks for making time to come on live to watch. And for those who are listening to the podcast, welcome. And for those who are coming on live, do share with us where you are coming from. Drop a hi, say hi to us. And also, Pearline, maybe you can say hi for those who are tuning in and for those who are watching us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pearline. Pleased to be on the show with Kenneth. Thank you very much.
Good, good. So, Pearline, are you ready with your answer to the question of the day?
Of course.
Okay, give it to us.
Okay. So your question was, how do you find your passion? That's
Yes.
from the last guest, right?
Correct.
Okay. I think passion is very individual. So if you really have a passion, it comes naturally. I realized, okay, in the few decades that I've lived, how do you find your passion? It comes, and when it comes, you know that's it.
Wow, that is so cliche and so wow. It's like the aha moment is like
But
it
that's the
comes.
truth.
Yeah, that is pretty much when it comes, you just get it right.
You just know it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like when you meet your life partner, you just know it.
Pretty much the same, I guess. So thanks for your answer to the question of the day. Now we can
Mhm.
officially kickstart with the show. So
Okay.
before we start, maybe Pearline, you can do a short introduction of yourself to share with the audience and the
Okay.
listeners what were you doing prior to you starting your own business, and what's your background like, where are you from, and how did you get the inspiration to start your business?
Okay, so basically ground zero lah. I've been doing marketing for an IT company, dealing with regional marketing. So we handle a lot of the PR, the publicity for the company, and that's in the IT industry. Yeah, so everything is very fast paced. It's a large corporation, and for regional, I do things like corporate videos, customer videos, then handling the press, media, handling the top honchos of the company as well. So that's my background, a lot in marketing, a lot in IT. And then before I started the business, of course, like most mompreneurs, I think most people will get married, have kids, and then wonder what's next. Are you going to stop working for the kids?
Yeah.
And then what? So that's where I started as well. I was very fortunate. I had a very supportive husband. So he was working, and I decided to leave my job to care for my firstborn. And that's how it all started, baby wearing. And just now, I think you've also made the introduction for me already. I run Baby Slings and Carriers.
Yep.
That's a baby wearing business. We don't just do online. We more importantly have touch points for parents to learn how to use carriers. And we have a physical showroom to allow people to try them on. So how I started is because maybe about 12, 13, my oldest daughter is already 14 years old.
Wow.
So that's a long time. In those days, there were not a lot of tools. So the sarong sling, as what everybody knows now, is a very simple piece of cloth. There were not many brands. I think locally there was only one brand. And then that's how I started. I was proficient at it. A lot of people started to ask me to teach them how to use it. And then I was also a breastfeeding counselor. So I taught a lot of moms. They are very excited. But I know that it is not effective sharing with just moms around the neighborhood because everybody's interested. Yeah. And then that's what prompted me to go into this. Is out of passion, the love for having the child close to myself, and plus the fact that I didn't have any help at home. I don't know if it's common for people not to have helpers at home.
I guess it's common. Yeah, it's common, and especially nowadays where couples, they want to have their own house, own flat, and maybe their parents are old, very very elderly, weak, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really common.
Yeah, it's common for people to have helpers, but we decided we didn't want a helper then. So I was sort of forced to manage everything myself. And with all the experiences, talking to other mothers and sharing with them out of love, out of the interest for finding more ergonomic options, that's where it started. And that's why the last question you had from the last person whom you had an interview with, how do you find your passion? That's when I say, aha, that's the idea.
So it all started from yourself, and
yeah,
and because you are a mother and you need help, and you were proficient in baby wearing, especially with the sarong sling, and that's where a lot of your friends who are mothers, they kind of got curious, and that's where you started teaching. Is that how it started?
Yeah, it's basically I started teaching people how to use it, and how do I say this? So basically it's a lot of sharing, and that's when I decided to say, hey, why not do something more? Because people are not sure where to get them from as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's when I really started this business. Those were the early days.
So where you were saying that you start teaching, so was it when you start teaching you already certified, or you are just basing on your own did someone teach you about the baby wearing techniques, or especially for the sarong sling, or it just from the sarong sling it started to grow your interest, and that's where you find maybe someone expert or even to certify yourself?
Good question. I like it. Okay. Basically, it was from my own experience, and over the years, of course, that has also allowed me to study deeper into this area, baby wearing. In fact, 12 years ago, when we 11, 12 years ago when we started, there wasn't a lot of literature on it. Okay, there was no way anyone would have actually been able to read up and ask somebody for help and learn about it, because it was a completely new field. And may I dare to say that we are probably one of the first baby wearing shops, especially stores, actually in the world, with actually people from different countries coming by as tourists, and they actually pop by to understand a little bit more about the business as well. And today, 10 years, 11 years later, now we see a lot of spin-offs. So we are glad to see a lot of people as well helping other moms to actually manage carrying their babies in a more ergonomic manner. And I personally think that's fit for us to and I believe that we have actually contributed to this rise as well.
Definitely. And you were saying that your business started 11 years ago. In fact, I knew, I think I shared with you, I knew your company 10 years ago when I was working in Motherhood magazine. And just that my colleague, she was servicing your account, and I already know about your company. Just that because she's taking good care of you, and I just heard of it. And I didn't expect that after 10 years, I get to meet you, the founder of Baby Carrier and Sling, Baby Sling and Carrier. So I didn't really realize, hey, oh, okay, I'm meeting Pearline. And it was such a, and the place that we met up was at the Mommy Support Group. And it's really, really unique. And then when you start introducing yourself and you pass me your name card, I was like, hey, this looks very familiar, because back then in Motherhood magazine we have listing, and your company took up the listing, and I just remembered it, because as for me, I was new in advertising sales, as a new I would say a new salesperson. My I would say that my bread and butter is to promote listing to all the clients, especially for new startup, for mompreneurs like you, new startup, because it is the best. I would say the it has the highest ROI for a lot of clients who just basically start up and want to have more exposure. And also you mentioned that you have started the business for 11 years. Wow, it's 11 long years, and your business is growing day by day, year by year, and you have set up a few others, I would say other companies along the way, right? Other businesses along the way. How did you manage to grow your business, especially consistently for 11 years? Is there any tricks or any secrets that a lot of people will be curious? What is that, or maybe what is that one thing that you think that contribute to your 11 years of business?
After having fitted over 10,000 babies, time to find something new. But the truth is, I think there are gaps in the market, despite because we are in the market servicing a lot of babies, a lot of parents. We are on the front line. We also see that a lot of people need things that's not available and not easily available. And a lot of times there are a lot of products, but then the fact that people are actually not aware of what solutions are available to them. That's what pushed us to actually look for solutions for them. And if you notice, most people may actually be selling things. We are solution finders. So basically, somebody comes to you with a problem, we try to find a solution for them, and that's what drives my family actually to find solutions for them. To be very honest with you, what's the secret? Having a close-knitted family who helps around in the business as well.
Wow, yes, I totally agree that you need a family. It's like I think it was yesterday I did a post. I talked about it takes a village to raise a kid, raise a child. And for a business, you need the whole family to really build the business. And I still remember the first time when I went to your office or your store, and I saw that your children are helping you. That means it's your workplace and also your home at the same time. It means your children are there. And after that, I know from you that you are homeschooling your three kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like maybe you can share with the parents, the listeners out there, that what is homeschooling like, and also why do you choose homeschooling, and maybe share a few benefits about homeschooling for those who wanted to explore homeschooling. Maybe you can share with us, especially in Singapore context.
Okay. What do you want me to share
That's a
with?
huge thing, right? So basically,
What do you
maybe
want to
you can
share
share
about?
with us why what makes you start homeschooling your children.
I guess with three kids is different ages, it might not be always very feasible to have them at all different places because the timetables can be very, very different. I've got a 14-year-old, an almost 13-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Wow, huge gap.
So yeah, huge gap. So a 4-year-old versus a teenager, their activities will be really, really different. Okay, my older two have been through like everybody else, they've gone to school, but they finished PSLE and they decided to unschool. So in a way, what is homeschooling? Actually, there are different terms. There's homeschooling, there's unschooling. So in unschooling, I respect the child's choice, and the family has to decide that there's something they want to do, that they want to pursue their own interests. So in this context, we do not specifically go for specific lesson, but we allow them the freedom to actually choose what they want to do. And when they have the passion for it, they will start to delve a little bit deeper. So we are really going for depth.
Wow.
Especially for the older kids. So for the younger child, she'll be mainly doing more of homeschooling because when you talk about unschooling, there's a lot to do with the child's natural desires to learn. And even for my youngest, we actually allow her to choose what she wants to learn. But while choosing what she wants to learn, then how do you incorporate things like the alphabets and then counting the basic skills? That part would be more of the homeschooling. So it's a little bit more prepared.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, like you mentioned, you give yourself a title which is called a mommy octopus. So I'm just curious, why do you title yourself as a mommy octopus?
Mommy octopus. Yeah. As you may have already noticed in your last visit, we met up just for the people who are tuning in. I met up with Kenneth, and he probably saw that my child is somehow in the background sometimes. And why mommy octopus? At work, they are there as well.
Yes.
So sometimes apart from work, I have to set aside some time for them and guide them and talk to them, especially the youngest. Okay, but when I say mommy octopus, it isn't like what everybody thinks. I'm actually all not for multitasking.
Wow.
Actually, I'm all for single tasking. That's how my brain works.
Okay.
That's what I hope to achieve. But I think in the modern society, not just women, even the men, they'll find that it might be very, very difficult to just do one thing at one time because a lot of times you have many other responsibilities and have to do all of those. And being a mommy octopus means that after work, I do have to go back and prepare dinner. So you got everything rolled into one. So mommy octopus.
I like the part where you say that a lot of people feel that as a mommy you need to multitask, and as a parent you need to multitask. In fact, what you have pointed out and what I realized after interviewing a lot of mompreneurs is a lot of them say focus. do one thing at one time, because when you do one thing good, you'll be able to move on to the next one. And sometimes multitasking is just a form of deceiving yourself that you are busy doing things, being effective, but you are not at all. I do not know whether you agree with that, because this is what I learned and what I heard from a lot of mompreneurs when I interview them. They always say that be 100% present. That means when you're at work, be 100% present, focus on it, finish the task, and you move on to the next one. Because when you are doing a lot of things at the same time, you're not progressing. Let's say you do the maybe 18, 30%, do B thing 50%, everything is hanging down there. You can never get any task complete. And that's where a lot of parents feel that they are depleting in terms of energy, physically, mentally, emotionally. That's why they feel depleted, because they're spreading themselves very thin. And that's where a lot of mompreneurs they suggest that being focused, being 100% present will be the key thing, that how they can feel fulfilled and to be able to get tasks complete.
I completely agree with that. Yeah, that's why I say, I say I'm Mommy Octopus, it's because of circumstances, but I really, really prefer single tasking.
Yes, definitely. So that's a very, very good tip that you have just shared, is to do one single thing at one time rather than doing multitasking, which is not going to work, especially for mommy. And also at the same time, it kind of bring us to today's topic, and how to pursue your interests can change your family life. I see that for you, you are living a very much different family life as compared to a lot of mothers. Is it because of you stepping into entrepreneurship, you having your own business? That's where you can be in control and integrate. And how does pursuing your interests change your family life? Maybe Pearline, you can share more with us on this. That leads to our topic of the day.
Okay. Firstly, I think you brought up a very good point, being in control. I would say being a mom is already not easy. Being an entrepreneur is not easy as well, because there are always things that you can do on both ends and they never end. So it's always very, very difficult to marry the two. But pursuing the interest, in this case, is my passion to actually help more mothers learn how to effectively hold their babies in a more effective manner, so that they themselves can continue a proper lifestyle. And that's my passion. So I'm now actually pursuing this on a daily basis. And what happens is that as a result of the business, I also find that the family can actually come closer together. Instead of everybody having their own schedules, a lot of times the children actually get help as well in the business, and that actually brings the family closer together. Yes, no doubt, sometimes we have to skip dinner, like we have dinner really late, even the 4-year-old. But having the family together is really what matters. So I would say that no matter what anybody picks up and do, I think interest actually drives you. And as a result, if you can bring your family in as well, that would be actually a perfect blend. You may not always be successful, but well, that's always a start.
Correct. There's always a better way. And I believe that what you have just shared is what maybe a lot of mothers that especially working moms, they're looking for, but they are always fearful of stepping into something of the unknown, especially doing a business or even pursuing your interests. So Pearline, how because you were in corporate, that means you're working for someone, and how did you transit from a job to starting your own business? How did that mindset comes in?
Maybe I can go back a little bit on what you said. Actually, if I were to compare working in a corporate life compared to being in a entrepreneur role, the only difference is actually control. Okay. As for time and all that, I think it's relative. A lot of people think that being an entrepreneur means that you have a lot of time, you have a lot of money. Okay, that's not true. That's a myth. But what I'm trying to say is that, but you do have control. And how did I transit from a corporate lifestyle to in between? I was a homemaker actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So and then it was more like corporate into homemaker, and homemaker was pretty much crazy because it's all dependent on the child.
Yeah.
But from the homemaker to entrepreneur, then you will have to rethink everything because you may have to start scheduling things. In corporate, it's always like you have meetings and everything is like kind of schedule. It's always very fast paced. But as an entrepreneur, you realize that you don't have a boss to set goals for you. There's no targets. It's everything is on your own target. So I would say a good way to actually transit into entrepreneur from a corporate background is to actually wake up really and seriously, and then to actually dress up for the role. I think that's a tip for mothers who are transiting and they find that they are not able to keep up, and sometimes they find that it's hard to have a schedule. Then I think the key things would be to actually make it a habit to actually dress up and treat it as is also corporate. And but then you need to actually set aside time, because that's what you are why you actually started on this path, is to also spend a little bit of time with your family, being in control. So these are the things that you need to do before you can actually transit into a proper entrepreneurial lifestyle.
Yes, definitely.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Sorry.
it does. And also, I realized that what you have shared, right, basically break down into two things. First thing is, even you step into entrepreneurship as a parent, you still need discipline.
Yeah, that's the right word to use.
Yeah,
Yes.
you still need discipline. And also, what I heard a lot of mompreneurs always say that a lot of people thought that by leaving their job, they can have all the time they want. In fact, they can have all the time they want, but it's also a problem when they have all the time they want, where they use it, they do not manage it. And that's where time management comes in. Even you start your own business, even you as an entrepreneur, you still need to have your time scheduled, being laid out. You still need to allocate the time for your family, for your business. So which is also important, and that's what a lot of working mothers have this misconception of, okay, if I step into entrepreneurship, I'm my own boss, I can sleep now, I can watch my drama, I can do work on my business later, which does not work that way. You don't plan according to your feeling, because a lot of time we human beings, we tend to procrastinate, we tend to drag things, and we tend to get lazy. And that's where the time management comes in. You still need a schedule, like from what time to what time, you still need that, just that you are in control. And very much that I want to share with a lot of moms out there, especially working moms. If you're in a job, you're not in control at all, because your time is your company's time, your time is your boss's time. Everything is not under your control. And more often, a lot of working moms only left so much time for themselves, which all this time is even given up for their children. And that's where over time a lot of mothers deplete over, like mentally, physically, emotionally, sometimes psychologically. And that's where a lot of them um, went into depression. They have low self-esteem, low self-confidence, because they are not in control. That's why a lot of us fell into that. And also, um, like what is your take on work-life balance? Because when we talk about control, do you feel that you have more control in achieving work-life balance, or what is work-life balance to you?
Better control of work-life balance after I started on this path, or before?
After you started on this path.
I would say corporate actually gives me, okay, I have to be very truthful on this. Okay.
It's good
I
to
think
hear.
in every it depends on what you see entrepreneurs as, because even in a job, you can be like an entrepreneur.
Yep.
You can actually think like an entrepreneur. So I would say there is really no huge difference in terms of before and after. But I would say if on an entrepreneur's path, it means that I can decide to say goal-wise, how far I want to stretch it. So, and that actually will affect your work-life balance. Okay, so for on an entrepreneur path, the work-life balance is something that can be within your control, but it's a very big answer. But sometimes if you do have to B2C kind, then sometimes you may find yourself being stretched a little.
Yep.
And that's when, as an entrepreneur, you actually have a right to say no. The difference between that and if somebody's working, of course, the fact is that you are not able to say no, because then you have somebody to report to.
Yes, and maybe your work will be jeopardized because you say no to your clients, and your boss will be on your toes, asking, "Hey, Pearline, why you say no to the client?"
Yeah, so that part is a little bit tricky, but I would say that overall, if you have an entrepreneur mindset, you can actually bring it to the workplace as well. That's possible, but that also depends on how open your boss is about that.
Yes, definitely. So, and also maybe you can share more on how did like pursuing your interest, like what is that interest that you were saying, especially out to all the mothers, like pursuing your interest that will change your family life. Like how did it happen on your side? Like what is the interest that you're pursuing, and also how did it change your family life, for example?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, like for your case, because today's topic we are talking about how pursuing your interest can change your family life. Like for you, maybe you can share with us some examples, like you pursuing this business, you pursuing to help more mothers, to empower more mothers, to carry their baby in a better way, in the best way, and how does it change your own family life? Maybe you can share some example.
Okay, good examples would be the fact that I'm able to bring the kids to work, and we already talk about them actually learning, picking things up along the way, and I think it presents to them a lot of opportunities to learn from real life examples. Okay, so they may not learn from the textbooks how to handle consumer or how to talk to a business partner. I've actually, because of the business, I've also actually brought them to meetings with me.
Wow.
So, and I'm very, very blessed to have business partners who are open to such arrangements, because I've also brought really small baby there as well. And for the older ones, I think that has actually helped them to appreciate what we do and how we make a living, because I realized that a lot of times teenagers or slightly older children are not able to appreciate that, because a lot of times they see their parents dress up and then they don't know what's happening. End of the day, they come back, they eat their dinner, bathe, and go to sleep. So when you ask them, what does your parent do for work?
Don't know.
Don't know, just go to office. What's an office? I don't know. So I think it helps my kids to appreciate the real world and to actually learn how to manage real life situations and how to actually handle difficult situations as well. So I believe that this may not actually be possible if I'm working for somebody else, because I'll definitely be working in an office.
Yes.
And that is not possible to bring the kids there.
Correct. And this is something that I love to bring mompreneurs who have been in business for more than 10 years while their children are in their teens or even sometimes teenage. And like you mentioned that your kids are seeing you because our
Mhm.
children, our children don't hear what we say, they see what we do.
Mhm.
So us being entrepreneur, like for you, you do your business, you can bring your children along. They see how you deal with your clients, deal with partners. They see how you respond, how hardworking you are because they are in the office. They are also at helping you at the same time, maybe to pack some stocks, or even to help, even to witness you teaching another client how to baby wear their own baby, and they tend to also come in to help out and also maybe to play with the children, play with the baby, and a kind of babysitting. And they're building what I call life skills, where a lot of children nowadays are not having. Like what you mentioned is really, really true. If their parents are always going to work, and most children will have no idea what their daddy, mommy is doing, working, what are they working as.
Mhm.
And only entrepreneur children, children of entrepreneurs like you, um, they have that, they see what their parents do every day, and they see how they handle situation, and they sometimes can make themselves useful. Like for me, my daughter, whenever I have workshop, I will ask my daughter to, hey darling, can you help me to pack my goodie bags, like all the
Mhm.
samples. So she will be,
It's wonderful.
she'll feel good because she's being used. She felt that she's useful. She has helped daddy to do some chores, and she'll be rewarded, like maybe to the playground and stuff like that. Or maybe she felt that she said, hey Papa, when's your next event? I'm always touched when she say, when's my next workshop? So she can help me to them is having fun. But I will see that she knows that she need to put in effort to get certain things back, not like feel that they are entitled for certain things. And I believe that this will help our children to craft a better future.
Mhm.
And entrepreneurship is something that I feel that all parents can consider, have a shot at entrepreneurship, because you will be I would say that a very good role model for your children, because in a few years time, 5 to 10 years time, their world will be different. We need more of this life skill. They need all these life skill to be in them in order to take charge of their future, or even their children's future. And that is what I see a lot of mompreneurs children as they grew up. I have mompreneurs who have been in business for 20 over years. Their children is already a young adult, and they embodies all these life skills like resilience, endurance, perseverance, social skills, negotiation skills, and also the creative mind thinking, because they know that okay, mommy allows me to have all this education, and when I grew up, if I can find something that I can use my degree or my qualification to look for a job, and the job is something that I love, then I can do that. But on the other side, I know that I have another option, which is to build a business, to step into
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, or even help my daddy, mommy to manage the business, to help them in their business. So at least they have different options rather than they only have option A, which is just a job. Because we know that with a lot of artificial intelligence coming on, automation coming on, our children's society will be different. The job
Mhm.
society will be different because a lot of jobs will be replaced. A lot of jobs
Yes,
will be
that's true.
disrupted. So their future will be different. And whatever they are starting now is not going to be much applicable in the future. So
Yeah.
this is what I see. So thanks for sharing, and also you are like Pearline, you are a testimonial to share with a lot of mothers that entrepreneurship helps your children to grow differently, and I would say that would help them to be much different from their peers, because they are able to have the life skills that will be with them for life, not like
Yep.
like education, not like qualification and all that. So time have flies, and have I have a lot of things that I want to ask you, but maybe you can share with the audience and the listeners how can they get connected with you.
Okay, they can connect with me through Facebook.
Hmm.
Okay, can do so through Baby Slings and Carriers Facebook. I think that's also in the links,
Yep.
in events link. And then they can also reach me through the Baby Gates and Safety Facebook link.
Hmm.
And we also have an IG. The handle is Baby Slings and Carriers. So that's where you can reach me at. I may not always see everything.
No problem, no problem. So anyway,
Yeah.
for those who are watching and listening, I've included the link for you to connect with Pearline in the description or even in the comments. So Pearline, now is your time for you to post the question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So I see that there are some people coming still on live. So Pearline, when Pearline share her question of the day, for those who are coming on live, you can comment below your answers to share with us what are the answers to Pearline's question of the day. So Pearline, are you ready with your question of the day?
Yes.
Okay, share it with us.
Okay. I hope this has not been asked before.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay, the question of the day is, knowing what you do now, today, will you change anything?
Okay. Knowing what you do now, will you change anything, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the question of the day, correct me if I'm wrong. The question of the day posted by Pearline is, knowing what you do now, will you change anything?
Yeah, and why?
And why? Okay. Okay. So the question of the day posted by Pearline is, knowing what you do now, will you change anything? If you change anything, why do you change it? Correct? What's the reason that you change? Okay. So for those who are watching it live, you can post your comment below, share it with us, your answers. And also for the next guest, this will be the question of the day. Do stay tuned. And also, last but not least, Pearline, any last advice for the mothers who are sitting on the fence thinking whether they should pursue their interest or passion or even step into entrepreneurship? Any last advice for them, Pearline?
If you have the passion, just do it. But additionally, if anybody is really interested, anybody hearing this is interested in pursuing a career in baby wearing, we are also actually opening up opportunities for that, for other mompreneurs to be to start their own businesses. And I hope I can join you in this effort to invite more people to own their own businesses.
Yes.
And they can connect with us, with me. We are actually planning platforms for them to actually run their business, especially if they are also passionate about baby wearing.
Wow, wow. So that is so empowering, and that is also one of my mission, and in fact, to create a platform. And Pearline is one of them that she has created this platform to empower more mothers to step up and also to step into entrepreneurship, to be in control and live life on their own terms. And in that, they will be able to spend more time with their children, right, Pearline?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Pearline, for sharing such a great advice. And for those who are still tuning in, I'm so thankful that for you guys on your support, and it has been a fast about coming to an hour. Thanks for tuning in. As for those who are listening, do stay tuned and thank you for listening. And last but not least, thanks, Pearline, for coming on live, sharing your advice, sharing your inspiring stories with all the parents that are tuning in now. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. The pleasure is all mine.
No problem, no problem. And thanks a lot for those who are tuning in. Thanks for making time. Thanks, Pearline. And that's all for today. And Kenneth here, signing off with Pearline. Thanks for watching Mother Industrialist Live Show, where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. And I shall see you guys in the next episode. See you guys. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Pearline. Thanks for making time.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.